smash success, obviously Harry Lennox would not have been taken out of the picture in any way, shape, or form because he's Harry Lennox. I love him.
Hi, in your mind, have you decided if Lila Morgan's last speech to Wes was her trying to let her go, or was it just the powers that be?
Yes. And I don't say that entirely as a joke. I think, Lila is one of those people who will always be working at cross purposes. There's good in her, she cannot not manipulate someone. And also, how much of this was going on in Wesley's head is also, there were so many things going on, but all of them are true. So the answer really is yes.
I was wondering if you ever tried to do anything as unique or genre-bending as Hush or Once More with Feeling for the comic book?
You didn't read that issue? Anyone? Was there one? I haven't, and I'm trying to think of something, there's the death of Captain Marvel, which I think was a pretty unique specimen. And then there was that Fantastic Four that was sideways. What? But it's different for me, I think. I think also Walt Simonson did an issue of one comic with just people hitting each other. I don't think there was any talking in the entire thing. Stuff like that is really dicey. Your relationship with your artist, or in his case, he was the artist, has to be so close. And you have to know exactly what you're doing. I don't approach comics in that way. And I don't look for stunts to do in the television show. Like, I basically look for challenges for myself, but they have to be integral to what the show is. Hush made sense in that universe. Once More with Feeling made sense in that universe. Black and White would not. It did in the dream sequence, in the Spike's little dream part, but it didn't make sense to do a black and white episode or something like that, because there's no context for that in the lives of the people in the show. With comic books, I don't feel that same urge to sort of push the boundaries. I'm really just trying to make the story connect emotionally. And so, no, I've never really thought of something. To me, I think the closest thing would be, I think the best script I ever wrote was The Chain, issue 5 of Buffy.
Yes,
and
that
it
was
really
awesome.
is kind of a free associative, strange little tangent. But to me, I don't think anything else ever reached that level. And part of that was that I was so free that it was kind of like an experiment. But it isn't what I look for. I look for the moments, that bring people back. And a stunt is only as good as the stunt performer, and it's tricky.
What inspired you to do the Dr. Horrible sing-along blog?
A lot of things. Obviously, finally making it was inspired by the writer's strike and my desire to make something small that I could control. But the idea really came from, is anybody surprised that I kind of relate to villains more than heroes? Is that going to be a ripple of shock that's going to rock the con? I don't think so. People who are a little bit damaged, who are a little bit different, who are a little bit weird, and even though he's a sweet guy, ultimately misguided, they interest me so much. I wanted to make Dr. Horrible because I feel like Dr. Horrible.
How did you get your first writing job on Roseanne, and what advice would you give to aspiring TV writers?
I got my first job by writing a bunch of spec scripts. I wrote, I think, 5, the last of which was a Roseanne, and that's what got me the gig. It was just, kept crunching them out, basically, and, everyone would be received extremely well by my dad. varying degrees from other people. And you know, it really was just a question of pounding it out and, you know, working as much as I could while I was also working in a video store. And trying to find the shows that really spoke to me. You know, people are always worried about, well, they've read too many specs of this, or never write a spec for a show that you want to be on, or something like that. But ultimately, the shows that inspire you are the ones that are going to write something decent, that are going to write something good about. And I also changed it up a lot. One of the ones that I wrote was for the Gary Shandling show, not Larry Sanders, it's Gary's show, the one before it, which was just completely absurdist and ridiculous. And to have a couple of different things, to be able to show a couple of different colors, that was really important for me when I was hiring people as well. Just, well, they can do the drama, but they got the other thing. And for somebody to have, you know, a truly funny spec and then, you know, some truly dramatic spec, obviously you can have one that's both, but to play different colors makes a big difference, I think, in getting hired.
Hi, Joss. I really love Dr. Horrible, and I was wondering when can we play songs from it on Rock Band or such games?
As soon as I can get to talk to somebody about that. You know, I think that we have been approached. I think that there was some talk about doing it on Rock Band, and now I can't remember why it didn't happen. Should it happen? Objection, leading the witness. I just wanted to hear you shout again. We'll look into it. And you can have the first one for free. I'm lying. I don't even know you. Far away. My vision is going. Not like vision, it's not like, you know, I'm making artificial flowers. My basement vision is going. I just happen to be super old.
I know you're a lover of comic books.
I'm not aware of that form.
What comics most inspired you as a storyteller?
You know, I had it great. I grew up with comics in the perfect way. I was reading the Ross Andrews Spider-Mans, and then they were sort of tough and fun. Then, you know, the Avengers, which I mentioned yesterday, the Jim Starlin Avengers Annual, Death of Warlock, very key. Then along comes a little boy named Frank Miller, who was shaking everything. And then I'm just out of college, and that's when Dark Knight and Watchmen hit. So I've managed to, the X-Men also before that, you know, was really groundbreaking, and I've managed to be the exact right age for every, like, groundbreaking mainstream comic. And I also read a lot of heavy metal when I was a kid, because that was the kind of comic that contained a sort of boobies that really couldn't find in American literature at that time. And also some of the most disturbing stories I've ever read in my life that haunt me to this day, but it was worth it for the boobies.